Of the tens of thousands of women who donate their eggs in this country, very few of them ever get to meet their biological child because it's typically an anonymous and private process. But despite the odds, a Seattle woman was determined to find the impossible after making a life-changing gift.
Dear generous donor.
When Amy Gilchrist stumbled upon this letter.
Yes, we would like to thank you for your kindness and open-heartedness in choosing to be a donor at the University of Washington Donor Egg Program.
She thought this must be a sign to finally answer a 20-year-old question.
One day, I knew it was time, and I was ready.
Back in her 20s, when Amy was in law school, she donated her eggs to give another woman the chance to have children. But she never stopped thinking about the biological child she'd never met.
And I thought, what am I gonna do? I said, aha, I remember signing a contract that said that I have to disclose, and I have a duty to disclose any information about my health. And my mom died of ovarian cancer. They have to tell them. And at that point, I said, while they're at it, I'll just say, hey, why not just ask them if they want to reach out and meet me?
The reproductive care clinic at UW Medical Center reached out to the recipient's family because of Amy's medical history. Both parties agreed to share their information. But what happened next left Amy stunned.
I went on Facebook and I looked up her name and I went, oh, there she is. And then I started looking at some of her posts, and then I saw Sunday on her post. I went, what's Sunday doing commenting on some of her posts? And I went, oh my God, are they friends?
And she said, do you know Karen Riff?
Sunday, Amy's college roommate, was friends with Karen, the woman who received Amy's eggs.
And she said, how did you meet her? I said, oh, initially through political organizing, but we also have kids the same age and live nearby each other. And then she said, what do you know about her kids? And there was a pause, and then she said, Sunday, those are my kids.
That's right, kids, plural. There wasn't one child, but two, fraternal twins.
I was like, this is not real. My whole entire life, I never thought that this was gonna happen. I was in shock.
Nabila and Fidel couldn't believe it when they got the call from UW.
My mom told both of us at a younger age, she was like kids, like, I'm your mother, but we're just not biologically related. Or like when I was 13, 15 or so, I was like, really, like, what is the other, like, half of me?
The twins, now 19, were on the same path as Amy. They were just about to start the journey to find their biological mom.
She looked her up, the name on Facebook up and found her instantly, and we were like, holy crap, so that makes sense. That's where your nose is. Look, that's your nose. That's my nose.
2 days later, Nabila texted me.
And that's how the three of them met, at Din Tai Fung in Bellevue.
And we were jumping up and down and hugging at the same time. We're in a huddle. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And I could feel their heartbeats.
Like noticing and seeing the physical features, and then that's the 2%. And then connecting the emotion and the same feelings that we have and the way that we act, it's so similar. It feels like we've known each other for a long time.
That's exactly what it was like.
I've never been so excited in my life.
When Amy and Karen met at Sunday's house.
My sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Oh my
It was an instant connection.
There's Nabila. Oh my God.
That can only be described as
mind-blowing.
It's the birth of not only a new friendship, but a new family.
This is a ray of light that I think has been needed for all of us connected to this story.
Christmas is going to be a big deal this year. I always refer to my life as my empty little life because, my parents are gone and I have no kids of my own, and, I'm not married, and I'm thinking, what is going on with my life? Well, wow, it's fulfilled incredibly.
I had no clue I had written this.
It all started with a letter Karen doesn't even remember writing. A thank you to an anonymous donor.
We wish you all the best in your future and hope that the good you have done for us comes back to you tenfold.
That ended with a bond these two mothers simply call a miracle.
Recipients.
And what's even more incredible is Amy lives in Seattle's Ballard neighborhood. Karen lives in Bellevue. They were only a few miles away from each other. And on two different occasions, both women were invited to a party, a couple of parties actually, through their mutual friend. one of them didn't actually show up to the party, and so they never even met.
So they could have found out at the party through conversation, and it could have bubbled to the surface then.
Yeah, but it didn't happen until this year.
Unbelievable. The moment that she saw a picture of her kids for the first time, I mean, you could just see the emotion in her face.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.